Today I'm going to work on a weekly challenge that is on a blog called I Am The Diva, czt.blogspot.com. And it's pretty new to me, but I'm just grabbing that quickly today to give me something to focus on. This website is from someone who is a certified Zentangle instructor. So I'm not sure what that is because I've never been educated on Zentangle. I got my kit, and this is about maybe the fourth one that I'm doing. Anyway, today's challenge is orbs. Orbs, circles, blah, blah, blah. She talks a little bit about what circles mean and what they mean to her. So circles and orbs, I do like the word orbs better because that gives it a nice two-dimensional feel. I mean, three-dimensional feel. have always been something that I have doodled. Being a bead maker, you know the, I don't know about the significance, but the importance of circles and dots. I know they're real important in Aboriginal work. The Aborigines do dot paintings. I'm not sure what the meaning of it is, but I just think they're cool. So anyway, high expectations for today's orbs challenge. And we'll see how this videoing goes. As you know, I like to share my stream of consciousness with you while I'm doing my doodling, and I can't wait until I have the whole camera and video set up, perfected and down to a science, because right now that seems to be what my stream of conscience is gravitating towards. I noticed I've been mentioning it first on each video. It's funny though, I went and tried a better camera, a real video camera. It was absolutely awful. It couldn't get close-ups, so you would laugh if you saw my video setup right now. It's an iPhone on a tripod, which if you have an iPhone or maybe any phone, you probably know that they're not set up for a tripod. They don't connect. So I have this boom on mine that I use when I take my bead photos. And I have my iPhone secured with hair scrunchies. So if you saw it, you would either cringe or laugh. I'm thinking you would laugh because they're purple. So okay, so this is one of my favorite things to do with orbs or circles. So I'm already a little lost. Probably should have done a little more research on what tangles exist for circles to give me some ideas, but we'll go with this. And the whole thing about doodling that I love is that it forces you to work out problems. So if you don't know what to do with an orb, you'll find something. See, even this, I've never done this before. One of the things I used to do, I think all of my drawing I would call doodling because I don't do realistic drawing. I do shapes and geometric stuff, and I love perspective and that kind of thing. So I guess all of my drawing is considered doodling. I've never really taken it too seriously for a finished product other than I like to do it. Anyway, I just lost my train of thought, which is not uncommon. Ask any of my friends, my husband. It could be pretty annoying, but I think they get used to me. I try to make a joke out of it. So one of the things I used to do is, I want to learn how to draw and shade and all of that good stuff with colored pencils. So I got out my colored pencils, and what's the first thing I do? I draw a big circle, and I just start shading it in and trying to make it into an orb. So I don't know if I've kept those sketchbooks, but that's something that I used to like to do, shading objects. But for some reason, it's more fun with the orbs because you can do a more fluid motion rather than trying to do a square or something like that. At least that's my thinking on it. All right, so what else can be an orb within this? Of course, you have to have one big shape outlined, right? Ooh, and I got some new pens in, so if I can figure out which is which. I got a darker one in case I want to shade in a little better, a little faster. Trying out different pens to get ready for this swap I'm going to do to see what's best to send to you all. I am thinking that the one that they include in the Zentangle kit is pretty nice. I wasn't sure at first because I was used to thickness of the Sharpie pens, but I have grown to like the effect and the detail you can get. All right, ooh, another one. You know this design that I like to do, if you've been following my blog and watching my previous doodles, is the graduated circles. So that's not too graduated, is it? Well, live and learn. So what I'm going to do with this is, you're not going to want to sit here and watch a 40-minute video of me doodling. So I'm trying to talk a little bit slower. I've already forgotten a few times, so that I can speed this up and I don't sound any more chipmunky than I already do. I once had someone ask me, is that your real voice? I didn't know how to respond to that. He was a jerk anyway. But yes, this is my real voice. So I know I could edit it and talk over it, but like I said, I like to do my stream of consciousness while I'm doing it. It's not the same if I try and go and put in something later. It just doesn't work. Okay, so that wasn't too much of a tangle because it is not, ooh, that's a mess up. Wrong orb, wrong dot. It's not a repetitive pattern. So as I said in one of my earlier videos that was so bad and blurry that it didn't make it to you, I watched the main Zentangle video on YouTube from the creators of it, and they said that not all, a lot of the tangles that they create or do are one stroke, repeated over and over, maybe two, maybe three, and that's kind of the beauty of it. That's how you get the Zen part of Zen, I would guess. So you just take one. So I think that is a lot of what doodling is. Some people are able to do elaborate designs, while they're sitting on a phone or preoccupied with something else, but I know for me, doodling has always been, if I want to define it, repeating the same thing over and over and over. Circles, stars, squares, arrows are a big one for me. Spirals, some people like to do spirals. And then the more focused, quote-unquote, doodling isn't too brainless, because you do stop and think, okay, what is the next step? If you repeat it, 100 times, that's something, but you are thinking about what you're doing. And I don't know if doodling is, well, I don't know what the definition is. It's just my stream of consciousness, what I'm thinking right now. Just is what it is. That's my motto for life these days. It is what it is. You do your best, and it's going to be what it's going to be. You can't change that. And if you worry about wanting to change it or struggling against the fact that you can't, you're just going to be miserable. So, I wish that wasn't there. I guess I could always just turn it into a solid one. But it is what it is. Ooh, I'm finding myself wanting to do, well, I guess I could. I want to do my lines. I like to do spiky triangle things along these curves, but that is not an orb concept unless I turned it into one, right? Okay, so this one would be 2 strokes, a circle and the line. So let's keep repeating that. One thing that's cool with doing this, while this, may not excite me right now, it gives me the desire to continue with the design until I fill the whole portion, because I know it looks better when there's more of it. Kind of like what I found with beads. Not more design is better, but if you make one bead, it's like, okay, yeah, I like this, but if you put a bunch of those beads together, more always looks better. Just your brain likes to see groupings of things. I wish it worked that way in my kitchen when my counter is cluttered. Groupings of mail and magazines. Why doesn't that work that way? Guess I just blew that theory out of the water. I still like these bubbles over here the best. I'll definitely have to do more of those. I guess I could do more bubbles with a different type of shading instead of that half moon thing. Not half moon, crescent moon, whatever that is. Probably should have alternated these connecting lines too. I think it's staggered enough. Give it a little character. So, how does one translate this fun doodling into bead making? You can get lost in your bead making when you're focusing on something. Not the same way as this though, because you do have to pay some attention. I just got one of those nice little burns yesterday that it burns so deep that you don't feel it. I don't know if it sears the nerve or what the heck it does, but you can probably see it right there. I don't know what I was doing, but the mandrel slipped and the bead landed on my finger. And I was sitting there holding it before I realized, okay, hot bead on hand, let go. I did finish the bead. We always do, don't we? I would be interested to know of an instance where the bead did not get finished despite a burn. Did hear a story, was it last year, a couple years ago or so? Someone was working on a marble and it fell. I think it fell in their lap. Oh my God. It's probably not uncommon, but I don't think they were prepared with an apron or something to stop the burn. Ouch, I don't even want to think about it. Alright, so I'm getting more done. Still not liking it. Hate when that happens. But I will finish. That's one thing that these, especially the Zentangle cards, I mean, well, I do it on my own anyway, but they just, you finish. Once in a while you don't, but you keep it because you will come back and finish it. There's just something about it. Leaving it undone is like leaving a portal open. Just doesn't feel right. Leaving a portal open, where'd that come from? That's what it feels like though. Almost like a superstition. Could also be my upbringing where I was taught you finish what you start. But it's probably a good thing to live by. I may also, when I'm working, come back and find a solution to make that look prettier. Like there was one I was working on yesterday and I really didn't like it at the end of the video. I think I have it here. Oh, I really don't like that. I thought it ruined it. And guess what? I put some, here, this one. I did these lines like this and then these. I thought, oh, that is just awful looking. Why did I do that? All this other nice stuff going on around here. Later I went in and put in my orbs. And look how pretty it looks now. There's nothing that an orb can't fix, huh? All right, so let's see. I did those open. Do you think I should do some, maybe I'll use a little bit fatter pen because they're going to be colored in. See if I can figure out how these pens work. 8, 5. Are they be too big? 3.